My local parish church, like many others, is adorned with stained glass windows that depict a range of famous and, in some cases, not so famous saints. No doubt the conception that many Catholics have of saints is largely inspired by such images. There may have been a time when every child in the parish school could recount the stories represented in those windows. They would know that St. Agnes was a virgin martyr, that St. Brendan sailed all over the North Sea in a tiny raft, and that St. Patrick drove the serpents out of Ireland. Few, perhaps, would have known that St. Winifred was a Welsh maiden who was beheaded by an amorous suitor after she had resisted his advances, though they would surely have enjoyed the legend that her head was miraculously restored to her body by her saintly uncle. I doubt that today even many adult members of the parish would recognize all these figures, or some who are even more obscure. St. Philomena, St. Pascal, or St. Peter of Alcantara, a Spanish saint who slept only 1.5 hours a night for 40 years, and who is depicted clutching the whip with which he regularly disciplined himself. What are people supposed to learn from such images? That saints were men and women from an antique past who performed extraordinary acts of self-denial, who were capable of miraculous feats, and who died in terrible ways? That they were generally nuns and priests and bishops who spent their lives in prayer, or, as Pope Francis says, swooning in mystic rapture, but who had little knowledge of and perhaps even less interest in the lives of ordinary believers. The French novelist Léon Bloy once said that there is only one sadness, not to be a saint. Judging from the expressions on the faces of these images, we might be more inclined to suspect the opposite, that there could be no sadder fate than to end up like one of these figures in a stained glass window, clutching the instruments of our mortification.